Time for the Tesla and Palantir weekly update, and we're going to start off with Tesla and going to include a few other charts as well, so stay tuned for that. But today I'm going to focus mostly on monthly candles because we just had our monthly candle close for stocks on Friday. So with Tesla, look at what happened. It closed 3 consecutive months in a row above this 414.50, which was the November 2021 all-time high. So this is something that again has never ever happened before. 2 months was good. 3 months is even better. Let's keep this trend rolling. And it even had a nice liquidity grab down into the 300s, and it still closed above. So we don't really even need any more fibs, but I will show you the one fib right here because this is interesting too. From that high to the low, we can see that it also closed back above the the log scale 409.54. This is from the December 2024 top and the bottom right here. But also on linear scale, it closed above this 429.84 as well. So this is also 3 months in a row above this 429.84, and it barely squeaked by and just closed above by a little bit, but it is very bullish, right? A very bullish, healthy development. So we don't really need anything else. What I'm going to pay attention to next week is the same thing that I've always been paying attention to, really, right? Yes, this 429 has always been on my radar. Yes, the 457 has always been on my radar to try to break out above. Still have not had any monthly candles close above it. So we're in a really tight range. But what I like to see held right now is essentially just that 429 or even down to the 414 zone right here, 414.50. Just keep holding that, right? Because if price can just continue to build a base on top of it, it's going to go to these fib extensions above eventually. So I'm not going to use any other indicators today. We don't really need it because this is the trend, right? The previous resistance zone of the 2021 high is flipping to support. This is what we need to focus on, and really just stay above this 414.50 for as long as it needs to. Keep building that base, and it's just going to go higher and higher and higher. So it's just a stock that's waiting and waiting to break out. It's a very bullish and healthy look. And next we got Palantir, and Palantir we're going to focus on monthly candles as well, and also the fib from 2021 top and the 2022 bottom. This is the third monthly candle in a row above that 1.618 log-based fib at 157.62. So that is important to keep maintaining for the bullish continuation higher. Now, is it going to be ready to break out completely? Maybe not. And the reason why is because if we switch to linear scale, we can see that this did close below the linear scale 4.236 from that same time period, right? That is 171.46. And if we go to weekly candles, we can see it a little bit more clearly here. We can see that the past couple of weeks, it's been stuck in that range. So it can be range bound for longer. How much longer is it going to be stuck in this range? Well, we need more confirmation to break out. So the goal for next week and in the weeks to come, if we're going to have some bullish continuation, it's going to be above 171.46. But in the meantime, the levels to hold is right here, 147.31 on linear scale up to the 157.62 on log scale. That's going to be the range to hold as support continuously until it's ready to break free of this linear scale 171.46. So it's pretty simple, very bullish chart, but it's not ready to continue higher yet until we get more confirmation of wanting to close above this 4.236 fib at 171.46. And next we have Coinbase, and Coinbase, we're going to focus on monthly candles right now, and it also had a very nice bounce right off of that 786 fib, the 245.66. So this has been closing monthly candles above it since it really broke out back even in May of this year. It broke out, kind of never really looked back, but we finally got our first back test since it broke out. So it's healthy, right? And if you look at the structure, it's higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high. Yes, that is a higher low from before. So the structure is nice and healthy. And we held support, right? And yes, it's still below that 318.95, but that's okay, right? It's a volatile stock. We already know that sometimes it likes to go a little bit deeper than expected because it's done that the past few times, right? We can see back in December, we're like, okay, it's holding that 245, and nope, one last lower low, went to 150. We can see back in March, it was kind of holding this in 197, and then nope, back to the 150s, 140s, right? So this has been kind of the trend for the whole year, even longer, almost 2 years, where it's just, it has big breakouts, but then it just goes back and does deeper back tests than expected, and we just got one right now. So 245.66, gonna be watching that for all of December. Also, I want to show you what happened this month, this month is the Bollinger Band. The 20-month moving average, it did hold again. That is at 253.86, and that has been our trend, right? Since we broke out back in July of 2023, it's been trying to maintain it as a support the majority of the time. There was only 1 month where it really closed below, and that was back in March, and that was excessive selling there, but it quickly reclaimed it, and it's still holding. So this is the zone, right? If we're going to have some powerful bullish continuation, it's going to be in this zone, and that's the 253 down to that 245. And more importantly, we can see that the Bollinger Band, the upper and the lower, right? We can just take this off and see it. Right, we can see that the upper and lower, that's really, really squeezing. This is showing something that perhaps it wants a nice impulse move. And the last time we really saw it squeeze was kind of like right here back in 2023, right? That's when it really started to make some moves higher. It broke above the 20-month moving average, and it started to squeeze, and then the band started expanding quite a bit, and then they started to contract quite a bit, but now they're squeezing again. So holding this 20-month moving average, having this Bollinger Band squeezing is a very good setup for some big moves higher eventually. But it's not going to be ready yet because putting back on those fibs, we do have some work to do, right? We have some work to do by going to put on the Ichimoku cloud here and the SMAs, right? We got to get above this conversion line again around 293. That's the first step to break above. And B, going to the 50-week moving average, we also got to get above this 281.12 50-week moving average again, which is kind of getting in the way week over week. But that's just a little bit of a hindrance. So the main thing I'm going to be focusing on is that 318.95 again. So we got that 281, then the 293, and then the 318.95. And then after that, it should be good to go back to all-time highs. But another thing to pay attention to is look at the reaction off of that weekly Ichimoku cloud. Breakout, back test, perfect, right? Even that 100-week moving average, it did close last week below it, but it reclaimed it nicely. So perhaps it does need a little bit more consolidation in this zone until ready to break that 281 and the 293 zone. But after that, I think it'll be good. So just keep holding this area, right? The 253 down to the 245. Let's just keep focusing on that for support. And if successful, I think we're going to continue the journey back towards the 280s, 290s, and the 318s above. And lastly here, I'm going to show you Google because Google, there is a lot of excitement out there, but I want to show you what happened from the 2022 top and the 2022 bottom. These are log-based fibs, and I want to show you what happened. Google finally hit the 2.272 fib, 324.25. So this is important to pay attention to because not only did it close the week below it, but these are monthly candles. It also closed the whole month of November below it too. So this could be a powerful resistance. And if this is a powerful resistance, well, how deep could it backtest? Well, we can just look at the monthly Bollinger Bands here and just show you that it's kind of extended from the top of the band right now. The top of the band does sit at 275. So if there's going to be a backtest, it could at least go back to the 270s and backtest that band. But we do have monthly Bollinger Band expansion here. That's good. Top side and bottom side. So that is a very powerful bull trend, but a lot of excitement at resistance. I just don't buy it, right? I got to be cautious until proven otherwise. And closing the week and the monthly candle below this 324.25 is a little bit of a caution scenario. So we're going to have to pay attention to maybe some potential backtest. So cautious at resistance always, guys. We'll be more and more bullish the lower it goes because the lower price goes, the better the risk reward. And the higher it goes, then the risk reward is less and less in your favor. So we do have to pay attention to that. I just wanted to highlight it this week because very bullish chart. We've had so many months in a row, right? What is that? 9 bullish monthly candles in a row. It went from 150s to the 320s overnight, really. Very, very bullish, powerful trend, but we are at a high time frame, log-based fib extension from the previous cycle, and it's getting extended from the monthly Bollinger Band. So I would expect a little bit of volatility for Google going forward. I don't like to be bullish at resistance because oftentimes people get trapped up there if you try to buy up at these levels. So cautious in the 320s. We'll get more and more bullish back into the 200s if it comes, especially like that 270s or even lower. That'd be even more healthy too for a back test before breaking free. But nonetheless, I think in the future we will see the $400 range, but it could take some time to break this 324 first. So always got to wait for confirmation to break free, cautious at resistance, and we'll be more and more bullish if there is a back test coming soon.